Here is Matt Buckler.
Well, let's see what Todd Owen and Adam Gaeta can do as they come out of the box and crank it up on the inside. Todd Owen by a nostril trying to beat everybody into turn number 2. And it will be Owen who takes early control of the race.
Look at that field of modifieds just carrying it through turns 1 and 2. A beautiful sight here as the sunshine falls in the back straightaway at Thompson. It's Todd Owen out in front. Gaeta settles into the second spot, but already starting to heat up for the battle for third. Side by side working the inside lane. That's Troy Tallman in that blue number 3.
Now Troy Tallman not reluctant to go down low as he is almost even with Adam Gaeta in the war for second. Tyler Leary doing a good job in third, and now Woody Pitkat. He infiltrates the top 5, and he is joined by Danny Cates in the 79.
Pitkat's moving quickly, and a lot of times the race in the Sunoco Modifieds is who gets to the front first. There you see Pitkat again, the gold numbers on the side of that 10A. Dan Avery, a long time trouble right ahead of him. Tyler Leary spins in front of the entire field, and everybody's able to continue on. Green flag for the moment. As they come back around the start-finish line, Leary's car is still paused in the backstretch.
As Leary got diagonal, he went into the weeds off of the backstretch, and the yellow comes out after 3 laps. Todd Owen had the lead, but Leary, this is his first time ever in a Sunoco Modified at Thompson, and he got out of control, went diagonal like he was on a tilt-a-whirl, and he finally wound up near the sidewall. You can't see it, but there is a wall right behind the scoreboard, and Leary came close to hitting that. So a little bit of a disaster for the driver from Hatfield, Mass.
Yeah, Leary was running up inside the top 3 at the moment. When he came up off turn number 2, the car just stepped out sideways on him and slid down through the infield grass. Didn't make any contact. And Woody Pitkat, experienced driver, was riding right in line behind him, and it's a good thing because Pitkat knew how to feather that throttle just enough not to get into the back of Tyler Leary and be able to continue on. So, Matt, we are 2 laps into the 30-lap Sunoco Modified main event. Now, if you're familiar with Whelen Modified Tour competition, maybe you saw the SK Light Modifieds that raced here yesterday. Well, these are the ground-pounding Sunoco Modifieds, kind of the happy medium between the two, and you can tell this race as entertaining, if not more than what we're going to see with the Whelen Modified Tour, because there's only 30 laps in this feature event, so you've got to get after it, and with 27 cars in the field, you've got to be aggressive early on.
And Keith Rocco, car number 57, looking for a championship. He says that he does not do patience well, so we expect him to be on the attack early. He is currently in 8th. Starting alongside Danny Cates. So if you want to look for some one-man pyrotechnics, that 57 car, we don't expect him to be loitering. He will be charging and trying to bob and weave his way toward the front.
We'll see that. Keith Rocco trying to go for another championship here today. Green flag is out. Todd Owen quick on the trigger there. He's able to clear the field and lead him down into turn number 1. And there leads Troy Tallman, a former feature event winner here at this racetrack, sliding into the second spot. And now we've got a battle for third midway down the backstretch.
And it's Ronnie Williams who has the advantage over Adam Gaeta as they gallop off the 4th corner. It is Ronnie Williams able to clear the 17 of Gaeta. And right now he is going after the second place car, Troy Tallman.
Got a bit of a gap to go as Tallman starts to close in and make a bid for the lead on Todd Owen, getting down into turn number 3. Slide job. Tallman side by side with Owen as they come up off the turn to the line. Owen by a bumper, but for how long?
As Tallman has some giddy up. They are dead even in the second quarter now. Owen pulls away again. So Tallman tried to make the inside groove work for him. He was unsuccessful. Williams in 3rd, followed by Gaeta and Pitkat. And where is Kid Rock? He has moved into 7th place and now into 6th place, getting by Cates.
Making his way to the bottom now. Crossover move here. Gaeta working down to the inside of the 10A. Up front, here's Tallman. He's going to work on the 81 of Owen again.
They go high in between turns 3 and 4, and it was Tallman. He has the leverage. Will he have the lead? Trouble on the front straightaway as it was a 51 to Noah corner. He is the car pointed in north and south instead of east and west. And another car involved up against the railing. So some chaos on lap number 6. And a car, that is Joey Allegro in the 08. He is on the safety road.
And it looks like we've got another car involved too, and that is going to be the 21 car of Stephen Kopchik up against the outside concrete barrier here on the front straightaway. Number 21 machine, Stephen moving around, taking the Hans device off, about ready to climb out of that race car. A good season in that car at the Stafford Motor Speedway here this year, but today, not going to be his day here. A rare appearance. Kopchik is out of the car, walking away from the victory lane area now, making his way down the front straightaway. But a 3-car incident here, Matt, has slowed us on lap number 5, and intensity is the name of the game so far in this Sunoco modified feature.
Noah Corners, number 51. That is one of the cars that is owned by Keith Rocco. Stephen Kopchik had 2 wins during the 2019 season at Stafford, and he also has picked up another job. He will be the crew chief for the 64, driven by Rob Summers later on today in the Wheeling Modified race. We were talking earlier about the Coastal 181 booth. Right after this race, one of the all-time legends is with us, and he will be signing books, and he wants to greet his friends, and he has a lot of them. Bugsy Stevens is here. So it is always a big deal when Bugsy has arrived. So he will be at the Coastal 181 booth right after this race. His book, simply named Bugsy, it's a great book. Mark Boussier, Bones Boussier, was a man who wrote it. It is about the life and career of Bugsy Stevens. It is a great read. And if you give your friends or family members an autographed copy of that book, it will be a gift that they will always remember. So Bugsy Stevens will be here, and he is ready to meet you. And I think a legend really is not a strong enough word. He is bigger than a legend.
While you're here with us today, race fans, be sure to check out many of the displays that are here on the Midway. Plenty of things to do down there that'll keep you busy and entertained on your race day. Some activity here today on pit road, though, Dave, and we've got a couple of cars on pit road. What's the story here in the early stages of this Sunoco modified main event?
Well, so far, Joe, it's been really some quick checks. I see the 11 of Brian Narducci making his way in earlier. We had the 02 of Paula Plant make a quick check and some adjustments on that machine. I'm going to work my way over to the Noah Corner number 51 machine, see what I can gather over there, guys.
Matt, Noah Corner is an interesting example. The Corner family has run a lot of Legends race here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, but on the road course that we have here at this racetrack, came up through the light division, now trying his hand a couple of times this season in the Sunoco Modifieds. Kind of excited to see what he can do, because the Corner family, no matter what it was, quarter midgets, Legends, where they really found their stride, light modifieds, every car they got into, they were very successful in.
He is a student at Central Connecticut State University, as is Mike Christopher, and a national champion in the Legends. We send it back down to Dave Barrowball.
Well, very quickly, they're trying to get Noah Corner back out into the race, guys. They made a repair on the left rear. They're going to drop him off the tow truck right now. Noah's still in the car. And I just see Noah give the signal now. He's coming out of the car. Gloves are off. So they were going to try, but he's unable to get back into the race.
Yeah, the way it works here is that caution laps do not count. And so if he was able to get back out onto the racetrack, he might still be on the lead lap. So we'll keep an eye on that. Green flag is out. We're back underway here to the outside lane. It's Todd Owen who gets another good jump over Troy Talman, headed to the banking of turn 1.
And let's see if Tallman can hold off the charge of Ronnie Williams. Williams in his hip pocket. Now Tallman making that downstairs move, trying to scoot underneath Todd Owen. He is 3/4 of the way there as they come off turn number 4. It is still Owen by a horse feather over Troy Tallman.
Tallman digging on the inside lane. Not too many times can you make that bottom side work. It tells you that Troy Tallman's car is really good if he's willing to put it down there. But here comes Williams rallying up the outside lane. Williams, two-time champion now with the Stafford Motor Speedway. Ran with us here this year in that Scavora-owned number 50 modified. Making some noise here, trying to capture a World Series win.
And right behind him is Troy Tallman. Now what will Williams do? Turn number 3 is usually his favorite corner. A little bludgeoning of the back bumper to the Owen car. as they swirl off turn number 4. It is Williams. He is making a serious move for the lead.
It's the race to the front for Ronnie Williams. Runs Owen up the racetrack. Owen hangs tough there in the high lane. Meanwhile, closing in, Talman, he's going to give a little drafting help to Owen on the outside lane, but it's not enough to keep Williams from taking over the race lead.
Top 3 can fit in a keyhole, and look at Williams on the outside. He is kicking up his heels. Owen gets revenge in between turns 1 and 2, and Owen regains the lead.
Here comes Owen out in the top spot. Now here comes Troy Talman working bottom, nerf bar to nerf bar. Williams up high in the 50. Meanwhile, 2 of the veterans in the championship chase right behind him. Woody Pitcat, 10A. Behind him is teammate Glenn Reen, and then it's Keith Rocco outside the top 5.
So Rocco in the top 6, ready to make a move. Ronnie Williams tried to push that number 81 out of his way. Now he angles that car up high, maybe looking to make a crossover move. So he is gorilla taped to the back bumper of the Todd Owen car.
Here they come back into turns 1 and 2. For the first time in many laps, they are single file among the top 5. 11 circuits in. Here's the move for the top spot again. Williams to the bottom of turn 3, gets it done. Crossover move. Owen back to the inside lane.
As Williams got up too high, and that gave Owen operating room, and he grabs the advantage again. So Williams has had the lead briefly on 2 occasions. Now he wants it here as he tries to fireball his way underneath Owen. Owen has his first place turf protected, and Owen will lead lap number 13.
Owen by a car length trying to protect the bottom at the entrance of turn number 1. You see him move a lane down in the front straightaway. That's because Williams has been so effective on the inside lane, making his way through the turns. This time, Williams taps the back bumper. Owen protects the inside one more time.
And then he goes up high to protect the outside, and by doing that, he gives an alley to Ronnie Williams. And let's see if he can swashbuckle his way into the lead. He does. Can Owen match that? He is trying to do it. Halfway there as they head to turn 3.
Straight even across in the battle for the top spot. Meanwhile, a bit further back in the pack, Rocco loses a spot to Timmy Jordan. The two came together ever so slightly. We'll keep an eye on that battle, but we'll focus on the lead. It's outside lane for Williams, bottom for Owen off 2.
They were paperclipped together, and then Williams had a burst of energy and recaptures the lead. Tallman is there. Also Woody Pitcat. Remember, he had 2 wins during the season, trying to get one at the World Series. But Ronnie Williams, he was a winner last night in the Valente Series, and right now he leads by a tree branch over Todd Owen.
Lots of momentum on the side of Williams after that big win last night. Here's Owen looking bottom, and Owen's had some pretty big wins in his career as well. The car that he owns and works on, Brian Narducci, won the NASCAR Wheel and All-American Series National Championship, and he won the race here yesterday. A bit deeper in the field, Danny Cates in the 79 trying to work forward. He's battling with the 17 of Glenn Reen and Mike Christopher Jr. as they are all battling nearly 3 wide for a moment, coming up off turn number 4. That's a position at the bottom half of the top 10.
Well, Timmy Jordan has really gotten stronger since this race has started in that number 47 car, the Bird Financial Services. Then Cates leading the next group. He is ahead of Reen, but we have yellow, and we have an issue.
One car is stopped, pointing the wrong direction at the bottom of turn number 4 on the road course apron at that section of the racetrack. That has brought out the caution flag here today, second of the day, and that's Nick Latiga in the 38 machine. Ken Berry fielded race car. Latiga, who last came here and was running late model cars, and then decided, I'm going to go drag racing. Latiga's been running with the NHRA, kind of at a level that's similar to Whelen Modified Tour compared to NASCAR's top divisions, driving in a dragster at over 170 miles per hour in Super Comp Eliminator along with Top Dragster. And so Latiga said, hey man, this car doesn't have nearly as much motor down the front straightaway as my dragster going a $170 down the quarter mile, but he's back, and it's been exciting to see Nick Latiga back in competition, but he had trouble there, so he's on pit road, along with others, Dave Baraball, including a Glenn Reen, who is mixing it up pretty good inside the top 10.
And I'm right here with the Glenn Reen machine as they begin to jack up the 17. Some work going on the front end, looks like an adjustment there. Also, I saw the spat. Another car as they race by a little further down. We see Brian Narducci getting some service done. So Joe, right now at the a little past the midpoint of the race, these drivers figure they have nothing to lose to come in, try to make some adjustments, get a little faster, and get in the fight.
Thanks, Dave. How about Glenn Reen, Matt Buckler? His claim to fame in that 17 car came right here.
Well, he was a winner on the World Series weekend one year, his only Whelen Modified Tour win. He's also won in the regular Sunoco Modifieds, the light Modifieds, and also in the late models. So Glenn Reen, a pretty versatile driver. He is a protege of Dan Avery, and he started as being a fan of Dan Avery and then wound up driving for him. Mike Christopher in action today, PT Watts, Mohawk Northeast, and Craig Equipment, the sponsors for the 82 car. And right now, Mike Christopher is running in the number 8 spot. Justin Albernez went in for service. He is in the white 07. In the black 07, Steve Massey, a guy who grew up at Thompson and competed at the Little T. Who will get the getaway? Ronnie Williams has chosen to restart on the outside, but sitting on his lap, Todd Owen heading into the second corner.
Owen will run him up the racetrack ever so slightly. Is it enough to take the lead? Yes, it is. So Owen back out in front. Talman working the bottom lane. That's where he likes that 3 car. Runs the inside lane, neck and neck to the stripe. It's Williams holding on to second.
I think Williams likes that inside lane too, and right now he is on the outside. Let's see if he attacks Todd Owen as he bludgeons a back bumper looking for racing room. Woody Pitcat has moved into third. Mike Christopher is on a mission. He tries to missile his way underneath that number 79 at Cates, and Mike Christopher on the move.
Mike Christopher started. Caution is out. We've got trouble up in turns 3 and 4. A car up into the outside fence.
I think that might be Robert Goulet in car number 70, the driver from Plainville. It took him almost a whole year to get that car ready, but he has been able to race near the end of the season. Glenn Reen heads back onto pit road, so he was not happy with the adjustments they made. Only 10 laps remaining in the Sunoco Modified season, and Keith Rocco inching closer and closer to his 8th Thompson title, his 4th in a row. And I think he usually gets these titles done by what he does early. He is in ninth place, and that'll be good enough if he can stay there.
Yeah, certainly so. He had a 40-point lead, and basically that's 20 positions up on Woody Pitcat coming into today's race. So Keith Rocco in the 57, really remarkable about what he and this 57 team, the Payne family, have been able to do. And he said in an article before race weekend, he said, the reason why I'm so successful with the 57 team is because the Payne family put their utmost trust and belief in me to let me do what I do, and that's work on the race cars, build the engines, and drive them. Keith Rocco's the whole package. The Payne family lets him do what he's best at, and it works out pretty good. 4 consecutive championships, 8 here at this racetrack, if he can hold on for another 10 laps.
Yeah, M&M Stone Creations, that is the business for Mark and Michael Payne. The first time that the Rocco family and the Payne family met, it ended in a brawl.
It was painful.
And things have changed a lot since then. They have collaborated on several championships, and I think the most significant part today, if he can get the title, he will tie for the most Division I championships in NASCAR history. So that is a honor, a distinction that only one other driver can share with him. So he is trying for that today. Todd Owen, he has had his ups and downs in this one, but he is currently on the upswing. We are on the upswing with Dave Barabal.
To give you a little bit further information on the Glenn Reen machine, I talked to Dan Avery. He said the car's a little bit free. They tightened up a little bit. Send them back out for the final 10.
So we'll see if tight makes right for Dan Avery. Owen is on the outside. Williams on the inside. And we get ready to turn them loose, maybe for the final time with 10 laps to go in the season. Our beautiful Sunoco pace truck heads to peace and quiet. We are going to get rowdy. Here is Owen. What a escape he made. Steve McQueen couldn't have done better. That great escape gives Owen the lead. There is a lot of smoke on the front straightaway, and they are calling it back.
What appeared to have started there is Timmy Jordan didn't come up to speed. He knew he was in trouble, so he dropped down to the inside lane. As soon as the spotter started saying, hey, something's not right, caution flag came out. Everybody was on the brakes, and surprisingly, everybody was able to get through unscathed.
Yeah, we said Owen made the great escape. So did everybody else to prevent getting wadded up. So we are ready for another restart. 10 to go, and Todd Owen has been either first or second in every one of the 20 laps. This is where Ronnie Williams, however, has done his best work on the inside of Owen, and we'll see if he can use that tactic to his advantage on this restart. So it has been a good run for Joey Gaeta. He has moved into the top 10. Steve Massey driving the teammate car of Justin Albanese. He is 8th. But right now, the spotlight is on two drivers, Todd Owen and Ronnie Williams.
10 to go when they get the green flag this time. Byfield up in the banking of turns 3 and 4. Sean Houlihan gets the green flag, and we are underway again. Outside lane advantage to Owen, but for how long? Because Williams is there. They go way up into the loose stuff in turns 1 and 2. Williams is in trouble, and Cates goes hard into the outside wall. Multiple cars involved off turn number 2 as the racetrack closed up, and the caution flag is back out. 20 laps up on the scoreboard, and boy, was that interesting, and a saver for Todd Owen.
Well, Cates hit the wall. He pummeled it, and then behind him there is at least 5 or 6 cars involved in the secondary skirmish. So a lot of damage done, and it started when Cates whirled around, and he got twisted up like a crawler and hit the wall hard. And we have our four-way angle here in the booth, so Joe is studying it, and we'll find out what he can come up with as to the cause of the accident.
Hard to tell exactly what happened, but we know the 79 went airborne for a moment. He was down on the bottom side of the racetrack, came across the nose of somebody else. That's what got the car up in the air, and then it backed hard left rear into the outside wall just off turn number 2. And when that happens, everybody's right on the accelerator. Coming up off turn number 2, you get after it, and all of a sudden you're powering your way down the back straightaway. There is nowhere to go. It closes up the racetrack in short order, and then we've got the problem that we have out here now. Racetrack is blocked, red flag is out, field is in turn 1, and Dave Baraball is in the infield.
Well, Joe, I think if you can get a better look at it, Coates climbed the 47 of Tim Jordan coming off number 2, and then he went, hard, as you say, hard into the wall. I also see the 0-2 back here, the 11 of Brian Narducci up against the wall. A little further behind him, tucked in, is the 70 of Robert Goulet. And then we also have, it looks to be the 07 machine. And I think that is Justin Albanese.
Danny Cates is out of his car, dejected, walking across the racetrack. He was really, really good today. Started in 7th, had a fast race car, was slicing and dicing his way through the field. It's not to be. He's got work to do in the offseason, but he's making his way back up into the center of the infield now. Also, we see the 47 of Timmy Jordan, his car on pit lane, and Dave Baraball called it right. Look at the roof on that 47 car, peeled back right above Timmy Jordan.
Looked like he went to a monster truck rally, the Monster Jam, by mistake, and he got grave-diggered. Danny Cates, he has run well every time he's been in that Jensen family-owned number 79 car, but he has not been able to finish races. Usually it's mechanical problems that knocks him out, but today it was an incident, and he just went into the air like a pole vaulter, and when he came down, he was into the concrete surrounding the backstretch. When you go after it and a car goes into the wall, usually the wrecker comes after you, and that is the case for about 5 competitors.
So we're under the red flag while we work on the back straightaway just to clean up a couple of cars that have gotten tangled together here under this caution period in our Sunoco modified main event. 30 laps the distance. Want to certainly thank the season-long support and year after year after year of Sunoco Race Fuel's New England brand, New England Racing Fuel. John Holland and his entire team for helping make this 57th annual Sunoco World Series of Speedway Racing possible. And, you know, I was talking to John a little bit earlier, and I was thinking about it on my way in. I live about a mile away from Sunoco Race Fuel headquarters, in Burlington, Connecticut. And I thought about it. I've got 2 stoplights in town. We've got 2 gas stations in town. And one of them, all they sell is race gas. And I thought that was pretty cool, being a race fan, having one of the 2 gas stations in town being a Sunoco race fuel gas station. And John Holland and his entire team have the opportunity to support this racetrack through the Sunoco Modified Division, support the 57th running of the Sunoco World Series of Speedway Racing. 20 divisions and all the championships that are on the line certainly goes a long way, and it wouldn't be possible without the guys like John Holland, Sunoco Race Fuel, and that pace car down there, pretty cool, and it's a car that he drives on the street, so pretty neat.
Right now we are going to the infield, and we will go in a moment.
Let's go back now to Dave Baraball in the infield.
I've caught up with Danny Cates, and Danny, can you tell us what happened as you went off turn 1 and down into turn number 2?
Yeah, those guys in the front row playing games, they've been doing it, seems like the race director decides to call on some guys and not on some guys, but they're running each other into the marbles and bundles up the whole field, and I thought we were clear, and those guys are almost in the fence, and I stayed on the bottom. Somebody got free in front of me, and I came across his nose, and up in the air we went, but what are you going to do?
Some people you need to thank that helped you get out on the track today.
Yeah, John and Joan Jensen, they own the car. I really hate to see their car destroyed like this for something so stupid, But them, my dad, everybody that helps, BB. We had a pretty fast car. I don't know if we were going to be able to win with it, but I think we had a top 5. But hopefully we'll get it fixed up and come back next year.
Tough break for Danny Cates, guys, as he sits here on the infield.
Okay, a call has been made. Ronnie Williams in the 50 car. He will be parked for the rest of the race for driving Todd Owen up the track. So Danny Cates was wondering if a call was going to be made. The answer is yes, as it will be Ronnie Williams disqualified for running the 81 of Todd Owen up the racetrack, and that was the fuse that created and ignited that melee that cost Danny Cates a pretty good race car today.
If you've never had the opportunity to walk on the racing surface here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park, I mean, certainly you can see it down in turns 3 and 4, and you can see it up in turn 1 and 2, a little bit harder because of the shade. But if you look up at the racetrack, you'll see where it's light gray, right up by the wall, where there's no rubber up there. This racetrack a lot of time acts just like a dirt track, where there's a bit of a cushion. And when you get up high in the racetrack, like Todd Owen was under that last start, you get up into that loose stuff right up by the wall, and it's like a magnet. It just sucks you right in. You've got nowhere to go. And just like they do in dirt racing, you could jump the cushion. Todd Owen got way up right near that fine line. He had to lift out of the throttle. It stacked everybody up behind him. And when that happens on your front 2 cars at the front of the field, something in a 27-car field is going to break loose. And that's what happened here. Got a little bit too high going through that turn with running side-by-side with Williams, and then all of a sudden nowhere for everybody else to go. So things happen quick. It's a tough racetrack down here. There's a lot of banking here, Matt, but you can't use all of it because then you get into trouble.
Yeah, I have walked the track, not very far, but I have walked it in the banking. It is unique as we see the double hook for the 79 of Danny Cates, and the double hook means that there is damage on the front and the rear. We go to the front of pit road and check in with Dave Barabalt.
And now I've got Tim Jordan with me. We're looking at his number 47 machine. Tim, I asked you, was it that the case? Did Danny Cates climb the 47?
Yeah, everybody just kind of were playing games on those last 2 restarts, and everybody just kind of checked up off of the middle of 2 where you're in the gas, and I just kind of lifted, and everybody was lifting, and we're all just kind of bouncing off each other and just reacting to what was in front of us, unfortunately. So I got some damage, got the roof. You guys got your $75 worth definitely for the aerial stunt show out there, but all in all, we had a good car. It was fast, and just thank Burns Agency and LFR and everybody that helps out. We'll try to come back next year and give it a run, but at least everybody knew we were here passing cars.
I think Tim Jordan has the making of a promoter as well as a driver. You see Ronnie Williams come in as soon as the yellow flag came out, so he is out of the competition in car number 50. So that will move Woody Pitcat into second place next door to Todd Owen. Remember, Todd Owen was a winner at the World Series last year in the Sunoco Modifieds. In third is Tallman. And in fourth now is Mike Christopher. And then in the 07, Steve Massey. making a rear appearance this year, driving a car owned by the Alvarez family. So he has moved into the number 5 spot. And right behind him will be Keith Rocco. So Rocco, it was fortunate for him that he was able to stay out of that pandemonium because he keeps his title hopes alive. He might have had enough under any circumstances, but I think the last thing he wanted was to be out of the action on lap 20. So Rocco survives, and he is still on the path to his 8th Thompson championship.
So working the caution flag now, still 20 laps on the board, 10 laps to go. Now, you may ask yourself, why is Todd Owen back out in front? You just talked about how he was up in the outside wall just about going backwards. Well, we didn't complete the lap, and by the rules, we go back to the completed lap that we have, and Todd Owen goes back up toward the front because he was not one of the caution flag. So, 81, Todd Owen at the point. The 50 of Ronnie Williams now parked on pit lane. He has been disqualified from the event, so he is out. We'll see what happens the rest of the way here in the final 10 laps. How about 82, Mike Christopher? Matt, he's only raced, 3 or 4 times here this year because they had a motor problem earlier in the year, and they were committed to running full-time at Stafford Speedway. This car was a car that they raced at Stafford years prior. It was white on the body. They went back to the black body on this number 82. And this car has been pretty unique because he's only run a handful of races, but he's already got a win in 2019, and he finds himself inside the top 4. And you know what? Uncle Ted, car number 13, guess where Mike Christopher Jr. started today?
13th. And Mike Christopher, his only win of the season was here at Thompson in that car, as he was able to win in the middle of the season. And then in the following race, he had engine trouble and never was able to get going. So Woody Pitkat, remember, he is still mathematically alive for a title, so he is doing what he needs to do. He'll be in the front row trying to yank the lead away from Todd Owen. But Keith Rocco, he is in a pretty safe spot right now in the number 6 position. So we'll see if he can protect his lead. He'll be starting alongside Steve Massey. The lights are still flickering on that Sunoco pace truck that we have with us today, and that is a pretty neat-looking vehicle. Woody Pitkat has always been pretty good on these restarts. We'll see if he can use that talent against tenacious Todd Owen, who will elect to go on the inside. Now, earlier against Williams, he went on the outside, but I think Todd Owen wants no part of that banking and no part of that wall.
Yeah, he's like, I'll take the inside. Thank you very much. I'll stay right on the bottom, and I'll run the guy to my right elbow up the racetrack in the form of Woody Pitkat. What a difference for Woody Pitkat. He's a track champion, ran for Stan Mertz in a great operation, won the title a few years back, and then they kind of lost their groove a little bit, and it was time to make a change. Dan Avery was looking for a driver in the 10A, and Woody Pitkat has done a nice job in this race car here this season. Green flag is out. 10 laps to go, and it's Todd Owen who's quick on the trigger. He goes single file ahead of Woody Pitkat.
A good getaway for Owen, and he clears the Pitkat car. Look at Tallman down low. And Tallman, he is trying to thunder his way underneath the 10 of Pitkat. Here comes Tallman. He loves to run inside. Let's see if it works for him coming off of turn 4.
Wheel to wheel. Pitkat with a slight edge as they come across the line. He's got drafting help on the outside lane. A big shove in the form of Mike Christopher Jr. to the top side of the racetrack. Tallman gets loose off 2, and here they come, pouring on the steam to the outside. Pitkat and now Christopher Jr. to 3rd.
And trying to move underneath Tallman was Steve Massey. Doesn't have enough energy to complete that move. Going to work on the back bumper of the Pitkat car. Mike Christopher Jr. as he billy clubs the back end bumper. Here comes down, he comes down low, and not enough adrenaline. Keith Rocco continues to be in a safe haven. He is in 5th place.
There is still time for Mike Christopher Jr. to get the job done. 7 laps to go, but Pitkat's not going to make it easy for him to get by. He protects the bottom. Christopher closes in, coming up off turn number 2. Peeking down to the inside of the back straightaway. No, nothing there. It's single file back to 3.
And remember, if Pitkat and Christopher are paying attention to each other, they're not going to be able to pay attention to Todd Owen as he is trying to expand his lead. Keith Rocco all by his lonesome in 5th place. and I think he likes it there as he is riding out the laps that will bring him to a track championship.
Here they come, back off turn number 4, this time by high five is shown, 5 laps to go. Christopher still working over the back bumper of Woody Pitcat, but it's Todd Owen firmly in command, a couple of car lengths, the biggest lead he's had all day.
Now let's see what Christopher can do as he is poised to launch underneath the 10 of Pitcat. Has the momentum, they drift up the track, and when they exit turn number 4, Mike Christopher is in second place.
Good job by Christopher to take advantage of Pitcat in that turn to move into second. Now does he have enough time? 3.5 laps to go. Todd Owen, 3 car lengths in hand. No pressure from behind for Mike Christopher in the form of Woody Pitcat. They're back in turn 4.
But that pressure can happen at any moment. Right now, leading by an ironing board is Todd Owen. We'll see if Christopher can do something about that. And the other subplot, Keith Rocco, nobody's in front of him, really. Nobody's behind him. And he will be trying to go on cruise control for the final 2 laps.
Christopher is there to the back bumper of Owen, pushing him down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go. Owen scampers into the turn, but here's Christopher on corner exit, closing again to the back straightaway. Christopher looking low in turn 3.
There's the bottom shot. Mike Christopher coming out of turn number 4. Can he fight off Owen? Owen trying to fight back. Owen has a lead by a molecule. 1 lap to go. Here comes Christopher on the inside. They are almost stapled together. Owen pulls away. Tallman moving up. Here comes Owen in turn 3.
3 wide for second behind Todd Owen as they go down into turn 3. It's now 2 wide off turn number 4. The Sunoco checkered flag goes to Todd Owen. Woody Pitcat will come across in second. Mike Christopher Jr. came home third after a last lap, last-ditch effort to get the win. It's going to be Todd Owen who captures Sunoco World Series gold.
And Troy Tallman in 4th and finishing in 5th. And wrapping up the 2019 Sunoco Modified Champion, Kid Rock, Keith Rocco, your champion for 2019. 4 in a row for Rocco, 8 overall, 17 Division I titles. And what a performance as he did what he needed to do. And Tenacious Todd Owen lived up to his nickname on the final lap. Mike Christopher had taken the lead on the inside, and Todd Owen exploded off turn number 4 on the final lap and was able to get the victory. So Todd Owen doing what he did last year, winning at the World Series. So the Critical Signs Victory Lane sign is up. If you need award, trophies, medallions, window tinting, go to Critical Signs. They will take care of you. So right now, our contingent from Sunoco is there. Now, we have a couple of contingency partners in this race. And for the Sunoco Modifieds, Napa will be giving $50 to the winner of a random draw. That will go to the 4th place driver. And also, T&A Engines, $50 to a random draw. That will go to the 5th place driver. Todd Owen is out of the car, and Joe Koss is there.
Well, for Todd Owen, he had to hold off some of the best in the business to get the job done. Todd, describe that run there, and all of a sudden, Michael Christopher.
I got no stories.
At the end, what, you got no stories?
You said earlier today I got no stories to tell.
Oh, well, you got a story now.
Yeah, that was a fun race. Just been a long year of keeping everything in the memory book, and I don't know that the deal with the bottom shot here is you can't run people out of room, and I thought we were racing hard, and he ran me out of room that time, and they made a call. So it was good. It was a great race, a lot of fun. Michael came from nowhere, which really wasn't expecting that, but I was just happy to come out of here with a win. Steve and Debbie Barnes are here from Cooker. They haven't been here in a long, long time, and I hope they're here, and oh, there they are. And just thank all my guys, Donnie Wood for putting up with my pain-in-the-ass attitude about the motor, and this thing was unbelievable. And just thank all my guys, Chassis Pro, Cooker Construction, Brad Auto Machine, just awesome people.
All right, that's Todd Owen. A pretty eventful race for him here today in the Sunoco Modified main event, capturing the victory, the World Series of Speedway Racing. John Holland from New England Race Fuel here to make the trophy presentation as part of it today. Now, race fans, how about the man who has won his 4th straight championship, 8th overall here at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park in the Sunoco Modified division. And how about a big round of applause? Kid Rock, Keith Rocco. Keith, not as aggressive as you usually are in the Sunoco Modifieds today, but you did what you had to do to win the championship. How does it feel to put another one in the record books?
It's awesome. You know, I think this is, I don't even know how many I got with the Payne family, but we work real well together. We have a lot of fun, and we cause a little bit of trouble when we're together. But I can't thank Mark and Mike enough. M&M Stone Creations, D&G Paving. He's been on board with me for a long time. I can't thank him enough. Petter for the awesome horsepower. 811, call before you dig. Hocon Industrial Gas, Dunleavy Truck and Trailer Repair, B&M Maintenance, my whole team. You know, it takes a lot to win all these championships, and I can't do it without them.
That's Keith Rocco. He talks about a lot of championships. How about number 18 on his career? And he's in his mid-30s. Keith Rocco adding another one to the championship record books. He's the winner in the 2019 title chase in the Sunoco Modifieds.
So a great season for Todd Owen as he tied Ronnie Williams for the Safford Championship